Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
How you feeling about school? You can meet some new friends.
Well, that would imply that I had old friends.
All right, enough. Settle down.
Hey, he's made us all cry at one point or another.
You should come over after school. This is a ceremony to celebrate you. Why would you celebrate me? Because you're our fourth.
Okay, so thanks for the time. Congratulations for the movie.
Thank you.
The first question is, how to describe the film? It's a remake, a reboot, a sequel, a new vision?
I always call it a reimagining. It's a continuation in many ways, but I think the task that I had in envisioning it was really to pay homage to the original while creating a story that could stand on its own. So I have a hard time categorizing it, but yeah, a reimagining.
It's good. And how much of the DNA of the original are you keeping in the story?
I would say the DNA is very much there. The story of the original is a young woman who moves to a new town and meets these three young witches, and they start embracing their powers together. And that's very much the same jumping off point that the craft legacy has. I would say, we have lots of Easter eggs throughout that original craft fans will see and hopefully be excited by. And then the story does really take its own turn. That is a pretty big departure from the original. I felt the best way I could honor the original was to not try to recreate it, but to create my own story.
And was it difficult to find the four new witches?
Well, we had a pretty extensive casting process, but the second that I saw each of the actresses who play our covens auditions, it was immediate. They are such incredible young talents and brought so much to these characters that exceeded anything I could have ever imagined.
What was your relationship with the original, The Craft?
For me, I didn't watch the full thing until after my second audition for this craft movie. I remember I could not bear myself to continue watching past the 16-minute mark when I was like 16 because I'm a big hair girl and I saw Robin Tooney's wig and I was just like, I can't visually sit through this and like not. Yeah, the wig was a problem for me, but I loved it after I sat down and watched it.
I think I also watched it for the audition and then I completely fell in love with it. And I remember like saying to myself, like while I was watching, like, Lovie, you like this movie, you have to get this role. So it really kind of jump-started that for me.
Did you see the classic film, The Craft of the 90s, before this one?
I did, but Michelle didn't. She's never seen it. No, it's the opposite. Michelle's seen it. I've not seen it.
I saw the original, loved it, was a huge fan, of course, in the 90s, and was curious and excited when Zoey sent the script, because I was thinking, gosh, it was such an iconic film. What could she do that would make it new? And she did. She injected it with like a really fresh perspective, really fun, while maintaining kind of all the themes that we loved about the first one. But this one feels really timely and current, and I'm excited for this generation to see it.
What was your first feeling about the script of this new version?
It took just like 4 or 5 pages of me reading Zoey's script to know that she was a smart writer, she was a funny writer, and to figure out, she's up to something really clever in this. And she wrote a horror movie that functions also allegorically, functions as a social critique, which some of the best horror movies do, and I thought, I want to be a part of that. I'd love to be a part of that.
Where did you go for explore this kind of character? Where did you search the inspiration? Did you speak with witchcraft specialists? Did you read magic book?
I really had no idea what witchcraft meant and how you could implement that into your everyday life. And it really was, as I was prepping for the movie and hanging out with the girls and seeing what it meant for them. And I'm like, oh, wow, this is cool. This is very healing. And it was actually came to me at a time in my life where it was very helpful to my mental health and well-being. And now I implement it into my life even now, and I probably will forever. So.
Can you talk about the horror elements of the film? How scary is the film?
I would say that the film plays a lot on tension, which is my favorite kinds of scary movies are almost like what's not happening, and really like wondering when that other shoe is going to drop. And for me, I think especially because I wanted to play with a young woman's psyche and what it feels like as a young woman to enter a house that is full of men, having to understand when she should be trusting her gut that there is danger around the corner and when she's being paranoid. And so I really like to play with those moments of tension. And then I think, there are some twists that take us more directly into the horror genre, which I won't spoil.
And did you work with witchcraft specialists on set?
Yeah, we had 3 occult consultants. They were all practicing witches. Pam Grossman, Brie Luna, and Aaron Fogel. And they were all just such assets for me because I wanted to be really respectful to the traditions of witchcraft that we were portraying, and I also wanted to portray them as authentically as possible. And so those 3 women really helped me. They not only educated me on, the witchcraft community, but just in the specifics of how we were representing that community. They were incredibly resourceful.
So the last question is the most important. Do you believe in witchcraft?
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that doesn't even need an explanation. Of course.
Great. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.